Last Christmas, I was 23 years old and working in New York. As the youngest employee in the office, I was often assigned the worst shift, and that Christmas Eve was no exception. After finishing work at 5 p.m., I rushed home to get ready for a party at my cousin's house, a half-hour drive away. On the way, the snow started to fall harder and harder. When I arrived, I enjoyed the party with my family and stayed until 11 p.m. As I drove home, the road became more treacherous than ever, with a thick layer of snow covering it. The streets were deserted, with no one in sight, just me and the car headlights illuminating the white road. Suddenly, I saw a car stopped on the side of the road with its taillights flashing. A man was waving, looking like he needed help. Being a kind person, I decided to stop. But when I got out of the car, the man approached me in a hurry and asked for help fixing the engine. As I was standing next to his trunk, a strong force suddenly pushed me into the trunk. He tried to close the trunk lid, but I resisted in time. In a panic, I pulled out my house key and stabbed him in the neck, causing him to collapse. I quickly got in the car and called 911. 10 minutes later, the police showed up and arrested him. That Christmas, I was lucky to escape a terrible nightmare. On Christmas 2009, I was 18 years old and working at a CVS on a quiet street corner. Since no one wanted to work the midnight shift on Christmas Eve, I was the only one scheduled. I was the only person in the store from 10 p.m. At about 11 o'clock, as I was waiting for my shift to end, I heard a slight noise outside the glass door. Looking out, I saw a man in thick clothes with a hood covering his head, staring at me. He entered the store, quietly walked past me, and disappeared behind the shelves. After a while, I began to hear rhythmic tapping coming from the shelves. I tried to look for him, but every time I entered a row, the tapping came from the next row. When I turned back to the counter, I saw him looking at me through the small holes in the shelves, his eyes making me shiver. Then he came out, hopping strangely, laughing loudly as he walked towards me. Feeling extremely scared, I stepped back, but he suddenly changed and ran straight towards me. I ran out of the store, around to the back door and locked it, but the tapping still came from inside. I called the manager and quit that night. In the end, nothing was stolen from the store, but the memory of that crazy man still haunts me forever.